One of the world's great modern-day male squash players, Nick Matthew, was in South Africa to conduct a number of coaching clinics recently. The now-retired Matthew went by the nickname of the Wolf in his heyday. Centurion Country Club in Tshwane hosted Matthew in one of the stops around South Africa. Gerard van Niekerk tells us more about the club.
Centurion Country Club has been going for 22 years now. It's a Peter Matkovich design. We currently have one of the most beautiful golf courses in South Africa. Our ranking recently increased from about 120 up to, I think, 84th position in the country. So we really have done a sterling job of improving the quality of our golf course. As you've seen today here, we have beautiful fairways, absolutely fantastic greens, and a really great place for people to come and have their golf events.
The facilities at the Centurion Country Club are not confined to the golf course. As the name suggests, there are a number of other sporting and recreational activities to keep members and visitors busy.
We're not just a golf club, we are a country club. So we have a mashie course as well, where our members can play short game. We have the squash courts, we have tennis courts, and then a beautiful facility for catering. This is a beautiful setting to come and have a meal and look out over these water features here, from breakfast through to lunch and even evening functions. We really have a fantastic catering team here.
The Centurion Country Club laid on a superb evening as they hosted one of the finest squash players of his era, Nick Matthew.
It's an honor for us to host Nick tonight, and you'll see also from the facilities that we have there, we have a number of function rooms and conference venues. So we'll be using some of those tonight, and we're really proud to be able to host Nick and his team here tonight.
Matthew is one of a select band of players to have won the World Open 3 times, and he's also a 3-time winner of the prestigious British Open title and a triple Commonwealth Games gold medalist. He received an OBE for his services to the sport of squash, but he had never been to South Africa before March this year.
Can't believe I've been playing squash for 30-something years and I've never been to South Africa before, squash or otherwise, so it was long overdue. And the guys have worked me hard, but it's been an absolute pleasure. You know, we've toured pretty much a vast majority of the country. I'm sure I've only scratched the surface of what's a beautiful country and with beautiful people, and it's just been a pleasure to be here and see the game of squash still thriving and trying to inspire a few of the kids at the same time. It's been an amazing trip.
Aside from Centurion, Nick gave clinics at George, Cape Town and Johannesburg. Aspiring young squash players were able to get first-hand advice and guidance from one of the best in the business. So, what were Nick Matthews' thoughts on the standard of the game in South Africa?
Yeah, it's crazy because, you know, we are quite far south in the world. You know, you perhaps don't see that or understand the level that's going on, but, you know, some great coaches here, there's some great clubs, and there's some really inspired juniors coming through, and it's been a pleasure to work with them, really, from the, you know, the 8-year-olds through to the teenagers, and then even the young aspiring pros. You know, they just need to get a bit more experience, but everyone, the level is, you know, fantastic.
With 33 victories in 71 World Tour finals, including those 3 world titles in Saudi Arabia in 2010, the Netherlands in 2011 and England in 2013, what is the one title or match that Nick Matthew cherishes the most?
I think you remember the ones that you can share with your family and your friends. For example, I contrast my first world title in Saudi Arabia. I won and we were staying in a compound, and my coach and my physio had to leave, and I had the room on my own with a trophy, and I was like, was that it? You know, I feel almost lonely now. Compare that to the third one, it was in Manchester, and literally my whole family, friends, everyone was there. Those who couldn't be there watching it on TV, and, you know, it was just amazing to be able to share that with everyone that was close to me. So probably those home wins are the ones that are the most special, despite you playing on that world stage.
Nick carried the flag for the England team at the Commonwealth Games. Having retired at the end of last season, one of his passions is now to help England squash, with particular attention given to the next generation of players.
Yeah, massive you know, inspiration of mine is to try and help. It's not going to be just me, you know, it has to be the whole infrastructure, but, you know, really help try and turn England back into world contenders again. We have some really good players, and the juniors are coming through nicely, but there's a little bit of a gap now between the sort of my generation that are all coming to the end and the next generation that's pushing up. So we need to get a top 10 player back, a top 4 player back in the men's, and the, you know, the women's, push the girls right up to the top, the next generation.
Nick was in the country for 10 days touring with a machine squash program. He spent 4 days with Craig van der Vaart at Parkview Squash Courts. Aside from coaching junior players and coaches, Nick played a number of exhibition matches against the country's top players like JP Brits and Christo Potgieter.
Yeah, I've enjoyed playing JP and Christo every night on the tour. It's a shame, but JP, he has to put his career first. He's got a great opportunity tomorrow to fly out to Pakistan and play a big tournament out there, and it shows that, he's putting himself on the map for South Africa squash by going to play these world major events.
The culmination of Nick's trip was his visit to Centurion Country Club, where he met and mingled with top local squash players and enthusiasts. An evening like this would not have been made possible without the generosity of sponsors like Midstream Ridge and LTM Energy, who were keen to invest in the future of squash in South Africa.
So LTM Energy is all about renewable energy and energy efficiency, water efficiency. So as a company, we have passion in supporting the youth, supporting a green economy and so forth. So the youth and health is very important to us. So we do a lot in terms of social programs. And yeah, this for us was just one of those nice programs where we can have the youngsters, encourage them just to take squash to the next level.
Yeah, this is fantastic. It's my first time here at Centurion, and I hit with a junior squash squad this afternoon, and I was blown away by not just the level, but also their application and their ability to be open-minded and take on new bits of information and new ideas, and just real pleasure to work with. And I look forward to putting on an event down here tomorrow night for all the membership down there. And I might have an easier match now that JP's gone to Pakistan, but I'm sure it'll be tough nonetheless.
I think it was a really good idea from Centurion Junior Squash to come up with a cocktail evening like this. I think it's very good for the parents and the junior players to really ask him what he did as a junior and what routes he followed becoming world #1. And it's a perfect opportunity then for the kids to rub shoulders with him and talk with him and see how they can learn and make the most of this opportunity.
Of course, the true value of trips like Nick Matthews to South Africa is what was gained by those he coached and met. Who better to ask than three of the country's best: 2017 SA Open champion Christo Potgieter, current South African #1 JP Brits, and 2017 Jarvis Cup winner Rudy van Niekerk.
First of all, it's just such a privilege to have a three-time world champion with us the whole time for the whole 10 days. We toured in Johannesburg, we went a little bit to George, Cape Town and Rustenburg, and now we're back in Gauteng in Centurion. It's like I said, it's just a big privilege to have such a big name in South Africa with us. What we've learned from him, one thing that stands out for us is how professional he is. Before every exhibition, he was warming up 30-40 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's a 10th league player, 8th league player, or 1st league player, or if he played me or JP. So that's a good way for the juniors to see how to be professional.
I think one of the main things for me was that even though Nick is not on a professional tour anymore, he's still really professional about his career, although it's in a different role at the moment. He's still very professional in the way he prepares for his matches, how he warms up, he warms down. He's a very humble guy. He's open for us to ask him about anything that we want to learn from the game. One of the big things in terms of the squash was really hunting the volley and make sure that we really look to volley the ball as much as we can and keep our opponent behind us and then control the game from there. So that's one of the big things that I will learn from him, and then also really focus a lot on the movement and keeping the movement flowing, and that's one thing that we will also put back into the juniors, and hopefully that will help them a lot.
Big privilege for me coming here playing against Nick, one of the best squash players in the world. I think playing him is just it's something else. It's something that I wanted to do my whole life. I'm really excited playing him.
Christo, JP, Rudy and Jimmy Schlebusch had the opportunity to play against Nick during the tour. They all play for the all-powerful South African Country Districts team at the Jarvis Cup, and as JP explains, they're like a family.
At SACD, we see ourselves as a big family, and it was a great opportunity for all our teammates to play against Nick and obviously get that experience of playing on that level. And that is also, another benefit that we can get for our team leading to Jarvis later this year. So we will always try to get our teammates involved and get them to learn as much as we can, and also make the bond between us stronger and stronger with every event that we have.
The opportunity to have a world great like Nick Matthews share his knowledge with South African squash players young and old and coaches is rare indeed, but one that will surely benefit the players and the sport for many years to come.